Hey guys, welcome back to McDonough Coaching for all things physio, training, nutrition, and habit forming. We're over the next 3 weeks, we'll probably do a lot of videos on wrist pain, mobility, conditions. So today I'm going to talk about Voodoo Bands, or these blood flow restriction bands, as they sometimes are called. So the main thing that they're used for is painful joints, improving mobility. The evidence is a bit mixed, and some studies are done even on just performance in athletes. There's a study done on Osgood-Schlatter's disease, which is knee pain in adolescents. So I'm going to show you how to wrap my wrist. The guy who came up with these, from my understanding, is he started doing it with a bike tube, so it's the same kind of rubber as a bike tube, inner tube. So I'm gonna wrap the wrist, and then we're gonna go to a technique and a few things. So you can kind of wrap it like you're wrapping hand wraps for boxing, and you can just go onto the wrist itself. So if you come on, obviously it's a bit easier if you've got someone to do it with you. So I'm just going to wrap it here. So you want to wrap it at about 50% tension. And you're going to get a bit of overlap. And then what you want to do is tuck it in. So again, you can see I'm struggling a bit here to do it on my own. So if you got a super friend that can help you, that would be awesome. So, so there we go. Yeah, so you can see it's pretty tight. So then you can use it kind of before training, or you can also use it if you've got swelling. So if I had swelling, say, so for example, ankle, or even the wrist area, so you want to wrap it tighter towards your toes, so up to 80% tension at your toes, and then looser as you go up, less tension as you go up. And that the idea is that it would push the fluid back towards the heart. So if you're doing it more for swelling. And so if we look at my wrist there and that movement, and we're going to compare that to this one once we're done. So you want to mobilize into those areas of restriction. So you can do it passively first, coming up and down. So you got flexion and extension, and then you got radial and ulnar deviation. So again, coming up and down here. Yeah. So I've used it on wrists and elbows quite a bit, and knees and ankles. You can use it on hips and shoulders, but I tend to use ankles and knees. Obviously not around your waist, your neck. And again here, so you start kind of into these positions, then you can add pressure. And coming back and down. So if you're doing, say, a front rack, yeah, and you're lacking that, for example, that extension, yeah, and if that's the main thing you're lacking, then you want to mobilize into that position. So you're coming down, or say if you've got painful wrists from push-ups, you might want to try this. So again, you would test yourself. So if that's painful, do that movement before you put the wrap on, then wrap it. And you want to wrap it up to 3 minutes. And you can do it up to 3 times. Some people say a minute. See, what you're looking for is that, you can probably see my fingers are going a bit white. That's fine, I can still feel them. There's no tingling. Yeah, so obviously you don't want to restrict it too much. And then you can go into push-up position and doing some push-ups. But the main thing is that you're mobilizing into that restriction. So I would even just put the weight and just coming into that areas of restriction, coming forward. I'm going to pop that off. It's definitely over 3 minutes. So you can probably see there's a bit of increase in movement there. It definitely feels looser. My wrist mobility is good anyway. Yeah. So that's the Voodoo flossing. So before training, or if you've got swelling or pain, or when you're going to use it, like I said, I generally kind of test movements first. So looking for what's painful and looking at the range of movement. So any restrictions, wrap, do it a few times, up to 3 times, 3 minutes each, and mobilize into those positions of restriction. All right, cool. Out.